so we're in that time, that 25-year period of intensity and things shaking, things being challenging, things being chaotic. And that all serves a positive end, which is to shake things up so that the new can begin to grow from the old, that we release what no longer works, that we let go of what is not working, drop away from that, and allow, just like the springtime, allow this newness to rise up out of our own hearts, out of our connection to each other, to allow things to rise up. And I want to address as well who we are as people in this modern time. You know, we can look back. I spoke before about the ghost dancers and those who had a dream of a new world back from the 1600s to the 1800s on this continent. And we can also look back at the generation called the hippie generation. The prophecies talked about a group of people coming from the conqueror's children, the outsider, the foreigner's children, who would begin to act more native, live in a way more similar to that. And so there was a generation of us who came to think about peace and love and flowering and beauty and sharing and coming back into community and all of those things. And we really changed something. There was something very powerful that we did. We set something in the ground. Just like the ghost dancers of old, when they came together, they danced. They danced something into the ground. They set an energy into the ground that could grow and blossom later on. And so that same thing has happened with those of us who were aware of peace and love and caring and sharing and unity and all that in the 60s and 70s. That energy was set in the ground to energize and nurture what is to come. Fascinatingly enough, one of my teachers at one time said, "You are all very interesting people," because he said, when this intensity starts to happen, when everything gets more and more and more intense, it means that great change is taking place. And he said, "I want to tell you that the highest and finest and oldest and most powerful and amazing souls are coming to Earth right now." And we said, "Well, why is that?" And he said, "Well," he said, "they're actually kind of arm wrestling to get in." And we said, "What's that about?" And he said, when you step in to a time of great intensity and change and step positively, you come in with love and caring and unity and wisdom and light. When you come in with those kind of energies, he said, you clean up centuries of karma, because there's so much going on, so much intensity, everything is magnified. So when you step in, you bring in enormous power and beauty, and you personally clean up a lot of karma. And since we're going through a time of birthing, a time of coming into a new age, there's the wobble of birthing. You know, when something is birthed, there are challenges. It's a tenuous time. And he said, another reason that the universe is sending in all of these high beings is that it's needed in this time. Those of us who hold love and light and caring and unity and sharing, who love the land, who respect, who care for things, we need to be here at this time to hold the energy while things wobble a bit and get started in a new way. And what's exciting about that is that it doesn't matter whether it's the grocery store clerk or somebody at Walmart or here or there. Very likely, most of us on the planet right now are very high beings. There's some part of us that chose to come to Earth at this time to make a difference. And so it's really about us. It's about our choices. It's about who we are and what we're willing to step forward into. So it's a time of taking positive action. Every time we take a step that is positive and caring and helpful and nurturing and loving, we are bringing a new time into being. The Nez Perce people have a wonderful way of seeing it. They talk about when these great ages change, that Creator strikes a great gong at the center of the center of the center of life, and that vibration comes out and into all of life. And they say that it strikes the crystal struts at the center of the earth, vibrates them, and it literally vibrates up through the ground into our bodies, into our being. So here's Creator, in a sense, singing a new song, just like at the beginning of creation. They talk about a song, about Creator speaking a word, vibrating energy, creating a sound or a song. So at the beginning of each new age, there's a new song being sung. And my way of seeing it is that here's this wonderful song. It's vibrating up and it's humming our bodies and it's coming into us. But if we don't learn to sing that song, if we don't pick up the tune, if we don't pick up the energy and carry it in ourselves, then it doesn't remain. It just passes on by. So it's really a time when each of us is being asked to sing the new song. And I have a real sense of whales being nearby. And you know, whales are these amazing singers. Their work is to keep balance, tone and balance among all things. So they learn something very interesting. When they made a choice at one time whether to, in a sense, come onto land and deal with all of this or to stay in the oceans. And their choice was to stay in that sweet and beautiful ocean and not to develop these little hands. You know, like when you have a child, 2 years old, they are into everything. Well, that's our capability with these hands. We can manipulate and change things. We can create things and make them more beautiful. We can add to the beauty of the earth. We can make such wonderful things. And we can also manipulate and change and damage and shift and cause things to be off balance. So the whales are coming by to speak to us about that kind of ability to trust, to live in harmony with life, rather than feeling the need that somehow we've gotten to, that says we have to fix things, make them, change them, make it better. We can do better than Mother Earth. We can do better than Father Spirit. We have to do that. There's a kind of a panic about it in this world. And so I think some of the cleansing and changes that we're going into are to take away some of these things we think we need, so that we realize how simply and beautifully we can live.